We are renovating my house and we were insulating the roof. And we have there a big attic, which is the bedroom. And we thought, like, should we put heating system? But we put 30 centimeters of insulation, and actually we passed a very severe winter. It was -5, -10. We don't have heating in the bedroom, and actually was perfectly fine due to this insulation.
The fact is that we have a very old building stock all over Europe. The other fact is that this existing building stock will be there for approximately 70 to 80 years. This means that we are going to live in these buildings.
Many people think that their home is energy efficient, but it's actually not always the case. There is a lot of room for improvement.
Even if a building is already energy efficient compared to the actual or current regulation, there is a lot of improvement to be made.
It is possible to renovate most older family houses to achieve an energy efficiency improvement of 60% or more. This is what we mean usually when we speak of deep renovation. This is what we need to do in order to achieve the climate targets of the European Union, and it's achievable.
If you renovate today, you need to have the climate targets in your mind, because the lifespan of the building components is so long, and that's why we need to focus on this already today. And it's really deep renovation we are pointing at. So we are fit for the future and for climate shelter.
If you think about this, if we're going for a low carbon or zero carbon building stock for 2050, we have to make sure that each renovation measure and each step of renovation that we do now in 2020 should target zero energy consumption in 2020.
Having energy efficiency implemented in buildings, it's not cheap, but it's affordable. But the basic and the first step is actually to know what to do and what to implement.
When you're going to renovate, it's very important that you renovate future-proof. So you need to be in touch with an expert that knows which technologies or techniques are future-proof, and that actually your building is developed in such a way or renovated in such a way that in 10 or 20 years the technologies are still up to date.
There's a lot of technologies, in fact, and building owners really don't have to know all of them, and that's what auditors are there for.
People who prepare the documentation, engineers, certifiers, auditors, should be specially qualified.
Homeowners very often feel like they are contractors, like they have to do market research, they have to be engineers, they have to guide the technicians, they have to negotiate good prices in order for a deep renovation to be achieved and to be financially viable.
There are a lot of concerns. How they are going to do that, who is going to help them, who is going to do the whole maintenance of the procedure, where to start, where to finish, and how they are going to get the best of result.
More importantly, the costs of such a renovation can be significant. Even though in the long term this is financially viable, many homeowners are not able to pay for the upfront costs of such a radical renovation.
This is an area of single-family houses, all built in the same period, maybe 80 years old. And as you can see, many buildings they are renovated as a whole in one step, but much more buildings they are being renovated stepwise. Maybe only the roof, only the facade. Some have new windows.
The house we live in and the house we buy, it's mostly our biggest investment we do in our life. And renovation costs, they come additional to that. And we do see that many building owners, they renovate therefore in steps to finance it also stepwise.
Well, in life it's very understandable that you don't want to spend extra money on works if you have already to spend so much money on energy bills. But however, doing nothing doesn't guarantee you for a lower energy bill.
Many of the European buildings have quite a few problems that need careful attention, and many of us, we really don't have the financial capacity to go for renovation in one go. Going for a step-by-step renovation means that you can start with a limited investment which covers only one single component that is undergoing renovation.
You can consider splitting it up in different renovation steps, and if you first deal with the measure with the highest priority, you can save a lot of money, and with that saved money, when your investment is paid back, you can consider the next step in your renovation process.
It is possible to achieve the same level of energy efficiency improvements gradually by careful planning and then paying each time for a step of the procedure and then again for the next step when the money is available.
In Kappa we did a test. We model a building in special software where we tried to do all the works at once. And the other case was when we did one renovation after another, and the effect, the energy reduced energy was the same, so the effect was the same.
It is important, therefore, that if you do these steps, that you think very well in advance what you will do after to avoid costs that you actually had done already in the past.
Also a good way to perform a renovation, but you have to remember about the lock-in effect.
Well, a big frustration in the renovation process is when you, for instance, consider insulating a roof, and after a few years you realize that you should have insulated more, that you didn't choose the right option.
So having step-by-step implementation, knowing specifically which measures, how much they cost, and how they can be implemented throughout the time, I think that's the added value of having a support of technical expertise on what to do.
So think well ahead to avoid costs for the future, that's what I say.
This is the idea of a renovation roadmap. You start to have like a plan, a schedule with a step-by-step renovation. Your energy auditor check your house, he study it, and he decides maybe your heating system is getting a little bit old, like 20 years, it was a gas boiler, it's totally okay, but now the lifespan is reached and you need to change it. And he check it, okay, maybe this should be your first step.
If you want to have a deep energy renovation, you don't have to do it all at once. You can do it stepwise, as many people do, but you have to have a plan and to build one step on the other. So the roof will fit through the facade and the windows will fit through the facade as well, and that's what the iBRoad plan will do.
The iBRoad project is developing an individual building renovation roadmap for single-family houses.
The roadmap that will be developed in iBRoad, it's a tool that will offer the information about the best practice that could be applied, the order of application of the measures, so the owner could choose the right measure in the right time.
Our main aim within the iBRoad project is to develop a useful tool for the homeowners in order to minimize their concerns about what renovation is and how easily it can be accomplished, and also to minimize any other concerns that is related to financial aspects, to energy aspects, technician aspects, and all aspects that are needed in order to successfully have a renovation of the building.
The energy performance certificate that you would normally have in Europe gives the situation of the buildings that you occupy, and it's the static of the buildings. It gives you the energy performance, gives you the consumption of the energy that you need, but it doesn't go into dynamic components. When you go for a building renovation roadmap, you'll know for certain, for a long term, what major maintenance and renovation steps you should take.
There's a big difference between energy performance certificate and EPC and building renovation roadmap. An EPC is really about the status of the building that you want to buy or to rent. It tells you how much energy it will consume, and it maybe has some information about additional costs to do to renovate, while a building renovation roadmap is really tailored to your own needs.
The individual building renovation roadmap takes into account the needs and the desires, as well as the financial capabilities of the building owners themselves.
So if you ask the specialists working with the methodology developed under the iBRoad project, they will give you an individual advice tailor-made for your own building, but also for your family, your financial capacity and your situation in life.
Imagine your family situation, you will have kids, so you might have additional space that you want, or you want to have a new kitchen. So your building renovation roadmap takes these into account. It also takes into account what is your financial possibilities, that it really sets out a tailored process over 5 to 15 years.
And this is the idea of a roadmap. So you have like a plan, or you can see like what to do step by step with your house.
The individual building renovation roadmap, along with a logbook, which is an archive with all relevant information on the building, will allow homeowners to plan the renovation of their home and to implement it gradually as allowed by their financial capabilities.
Right now you see that building owners, they try to collect all their building related information. Like you have a maintenance, you have an installer coming by, he gives you an invoice, you collect it somewhere in a folder, but you sometimes lose it, or later you have plans of the house done by architects. What do you do with all of this?
Logbook, it's having all the information in a registry.
And what we try to do is to gather all of this in a digital inventory, in a digital box, where you contain all this information. But you as a property owner, as a building owner, you are the owner of this. But then if one day an installer passes your house and he says, can I maybe have the access to the plans, or can I have access to the previous maintenance being done? Then as a building owner you can say like, okay, I give you access to this digital folder for this time. So as a building owner you own it, but you can grant access to third-party actors.
This kind of logbook approach that gathers the information in one single database and makes it easy to analyze the situation in every single stage would really help the financing institutions to design better their offer and to offer better conditions for the end users. So we really hope that this would be a very significant impact of the iBRoad project.
If banks give you a loan to renovate your house, they of course want to know that it's a good investment, and that if you have to resell your house, that they don't lose on the investment that they do in you. And from that perspective, a bank really has or sees value in having a future-proof building.
The building renovation plan and especially the logbook are a very promising tool to approach the bank for credit financing. This is a fact because they support the mitigation of the risk, which is extremely important for any credit institution.
When you are going with such a plan to a bank and you take money for improving your home, you will have a better comfort, so less money spent on medicine, and you will have a lower bill. That would mean a higher income to pay your loan back. So this could be a good reason to negotiate the interest rate.
It's starting to become quite common for financial services to have loans available based on documents like energy performance certifications or other kinds of information. And building renovation roadmaps clearly give confidence to the financial services.
Because the energy renovation plan, it's like a business plan. It's offering content, measures to be applied, estimation of investment costs, and estimation of savings.